What's up, YouTube? Shinobi Trades here, and we're going to go ahead and do another breakdown for today, April 30th, 2025. As usual, we're going to break down all three aspects of this. We're going to look at what my algorithm or my trade strategy did, what the total points is, that's going from entry to exit, what I did and what I was able to pull out the market, and what was the max potential, right? So what was the total amount if you had perfect entry, perfect exit, what would it look like, and what was that max potential in points? So let's get into it. First things first, the algorithm. I'm going to back this up and we're going to go ahead and walk through everything. All right, let me remove this, and let's back it up. Let's see what it did. All right, so first things first, we look over here. We got our sell bias going on the 30 minutes, so we're only looking for our shorts. We see the distance on this one is about 112 points, so that means we're going to wait for that pullback before we get into the entry. As we move forward, price came in there, enters at us in, and price just ripped through that. Well, I won't say ripped through, but it definitely made its way back up. It didn't stop, give any hesitation, anything. It just went up. So now our bias is turned to the long bias, and we went over here. We got in, and we're looking for our long, so we're in that trade actually. Move forward, just so you can kind of see. I'll still step it forward. That bias for long was established, and then now we're going into, all right, we need to get that sell, right? That happened really quickly. I mean, the buy, I'm sorry. That happened really quickly. Price moved forward. Took a minute. What is that? About maybe 20 minutes. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so 30 minutes before we actually started making some moves up. And as price started going, we're moving up, doing really well, up 150 points, which is beautiful. Nothing telling us to get out until here. Once we have that come through, we move our stop right around there, and now we're getting out. All right, so we got off there about 106, 107 points. Not too bad. We then switched over to our 30-minute sell bias. All right, that came through. Price did come up here, enter, and we're looking to go ahead and take the drop. And actually, from the algorithmic standpoint, probably just be getting like that. So as price going through, went sideways, actually went down. How far did this go down? About 67, about 80 points. Right? We get the notification that says, hey, we might want to start either take the profit or move our stop. So here we move our stop because that's what the logic says. Move that forward, and eventually that just shot through. So that was down by what, 18 points, 18, 19. Now we're back to a buy bias or long bias. Got another entry to go ahead and move to the upside, but I mean that's a large amount, 112, 122 points. So wait for that to kind of pull back. As it does, we get in for that, and usually we have about a 100-point stop, and it's just a safety stop. It's not the actual stop, just in case all hell breaks loose and the price starts to do a tape bomb and then price just drops. But as this goes, we don't really break low. In fact, we start breaking higher and push higher. And as the market goes, it's going up and up. We're not able to stay in past 4 o'clock. So we'll move this over. So the highest we really get up to is, what is this? That's 4 o'clock. I think 4:05 actually. So we can stay. I think we got to be done by 4:10. So the highest it actually got up to is about 277. Yeah, because 4:10, that's the 4 o'clock candle or 4:05 candle. And after that, we got to be out. So 277 for that last trade. That was a clean one. So we're looking at minus 77 to get a plus 106, minus 18, 19, and another positive 277. So what is that? Roughly around 276, 277. That ended up getting us. So it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Very, very clean. I might be off slightly. I'm trying to just do the math in my head, but a very clean day. Now, we're going to look at what I did. Now, today, I'm not going to lie, I had FOMO like no other, and it cost me. It cost me. And it shouldn't have because there was no reason to, but this morning when I sat down at the markets at 8 o'clock, I saw this market drop, and the price was just going and going and going, and I just kept thinking, man, it's gonna go lower. Can it go lower? Can it go lower? And it kept going down and going down and going down and going down. And I'm just looking at this, and I'm like, I didn't get my signal or alert or anything until after the market has moved essentially 400 points. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't, And that was FOMO. That's all it was, straightforward FOMO. And what happened is I end up then making a very foolish trade, getting in here, somewhere down here, not how I would normally enter this, right? I thought to myself, you should not be doing this, but then I did it anyway. And once I got in, price started going against me. I ended up getting out for right around 30 some odd points, right? Once I realized, yo, what are you doing? This is not what you do. You built this for a reason. Why are you not using it? So I got out, but I took a 30-point loss, right? So I was down 30 points. Where I did get in where I was supposed to, that still took me another loss of 77 points. All right, next trade got in flawless. These two trades kind of got my nerve back. So I got in, and this one rolled up pretty nicely, and I got out for about 106 points, very clean. This next trade that came in, I was actually able to get in better than my strategy will let me get in. Instead of me getting in there, I actually was able to hold it and wait and got in right around there. Maybe a little bit higher because I remember I was up about 90 points roughly, you know. But then what I did do, which was again foolish because I'm still, you know, had my nerve back and entering the trades, but I was still having the FOMO because of seeing this huge run. And I'm thinking, okay, price went down, it came up, maybe it's going to go back down again. Number one thing that I say often, and it's still something I struggle with to this day, is do not predict, react. Just react to the market, no predictions. Because when you start saying, oh, it's going to do this, you start marrying an idea versus what is that market doing, then react to what it just did. That's it. That's all you need to do. And for me particularly, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough to be like, yo, it's going to be down here and it's going to reverse and go up here, or it's going to push down again. I'm not, as much as I used to think that I am in previous ways of trading and things and whatnot. Yeah, no. When I react just to the market, beautiful. And today I was frustrated that I tried to predict something once again. So what happened is got my alert to get out, right? This is the alert that says I get to go ahead, get out and or at least move your stop. I moved it here and then I kept thinking, you know what happens if it just comes up a little bit and then it drops? I'm just gonna stretch out my stop a little bit. I'm gonna put it up here instead. I'm gonna give myself like a 30 point stop. So I did that, and price sure enough just said, yeah, we tried to tell you, you didn't want to listen. So we're going through it, and it's boom, it blasts through my stop out for 30 points. So I was just like, you got your money back right here when you were following the way you were trade, but then you gave 30 points right back right afterwards, right? So very next trade came through, buy bias on my 30-minute. I got in, and I had to struggle all through this. And what happened was right around here, I was down 30 points, but then it finally started making a move up. I was like, you know what? Let me just take my money, and it's coming towards the end of the day. And again, normally I would let it go ahead and ride until I got towards that closer into the day, or until there was something that was letting me think, you know what? Maybe I need to think about closing this out. But nothing did. It just kept going and going and going. And again, the frustration is real because there was no reason for me to really get out. I got out 30 some odd points in profit, so essentially I had a break even day. But yeah, it's like, dude, you built this for a reason. Why didn't you follow it? And the only reason is because, oh wow, you got so upset because you saw this. So lesson learned. Yeah, I'm not gonna get every single move. There's gonna be huge moves, but that doesn't mean that's the end of the day. And on top of that, these moves were also fueled by some news, right? We had news at 8:15. We had some more news at 8:30, and then I think there was news again at 10 o'clock. So it was just, relax. These things are helping you, and you're fighting against it. So a little frustrated with myself, but I'm not gonna let it happen again. All right, so now, last but not least, max potential. So that is where the absolute best entries and the best exits. Again, it's nearly impossible to do. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's nearly impossible. For you to get the very best entry for your strategy and get out at the very top or bottom when the price went the very highest for that alert before going back. We're gonna check those out. The reason I like doing it, just in case you haven't seen previous videos, is because I like to see what alert or what way of entering the market, how much potential was actually there. All right, so looking at this first trade would have been down 77 points. Okay, try to get into the trade, just didn't work out. Cool. The second one, from the best entry, right, where I would have gotten in, to the highest it actually went, about 175 points. Really clean trade, really beautiful trade. That's the very, very tippy top. Now here, same thing, best entry where I gotten in, about 91 points. Another really cool trade. And the last one, this one's the beast. From down here, all the way up here, about 184, 185 points. Just a beautiful trade. Like, you can't ask for anything better than that. So all in all, what are we looking at? 77, or minus 77 plus 75, or 175, so like what, 170? We're about 100 points, roughly 100 and a little bit less than 100 points. Then we got minus 30. Then we got another 280 something. So was it 270, 280, somewhere around there, from just kind of doing the math real quick in my head. So really clean day today. So the algo, just following it directly, 276 points. Me for the day, because I want to decide I'm going to go rogue and start making adjustments. We're looking at just a break-even day. It's not bad, but it's bad because you had the opportunity to make so much more and you didn't because you wanted to go rogue. But that's what we had. 176, we got 0 for me, and potentially about 485. So yeah, really, really clean day. Really, really clean day today. Everything loading up. This was a negative. That went 170, 175. This went down to what, 95, and it's a high of 284. So all that kind of combined together is, yeah, 485. Very, very clean. So that's it, YouTube. Be back tomorrow. Another day of trading. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and that's it. Peace.